I think that the thing I learned the second I got to prison, like literally like the first thing I learned on day one, I remember thinking like, oh man, like I really like I made such a huge mistake. I've been living my entire life thinking that my life was about me. And the second I got behind the walls, I was like, oh right, my life is actually about everybody around me. Like I actually owe my life to everyone in my life. And so I was just so deeply ashamed of myself. I felt so bad for my family and everybody that had supported me. Felt bad for the people that I'd harmed. The kind of social system, the social stigma we have around systemically impacted people has become kind of large and sophisticated and pervasive enough that it's embedded. Like you know it, even like no one has to tell you. And so it's not a matter of like, oh, I'm going to apply for this job and then they're going to background check me and I'm not going to get it. I'm not even going to apply for that job because I know it's going to happen. And that's the real tragedy because in some of those instances, maybe that person's wrong. Like maybe something could have happened. Maybe there could have been an opportunity there. But because, you're conditioned to assume there's no opportunity there, you don't even take the flyer on that. So I think a lot of the ways it affects people's lives is in the ways that you are conditioned and that you learn to not even seek opportunity anymore, which becomes kind of a negative loop and a downward spiral of kind of depression and complacency. And I think that's where you see people get into really bad, well, certainly that I did get into really bad, like mental health struggles, where it starts to feel like, well, gosh, I just don't even know if there's anything for me here anymore. Like I don't really know if I want to do this anymore. Like I don't know if I want to be alive anymore. And it maybe sound like a jump to go from like, oh, I didn't get this job to, oh, I want to kill myself. But like, it's actually not that far apart depending on the situation that you're in and, how much you've got left in the tank in those moments where you feel like things are slipping through your fingers like that, in front of your family, in front of your friends, in front of people that you care about and respect their opinion of you. I was hired as part of a new initiative that Jobs for the Future is doing called Fair Chance to Advance, which is going to be a multi-state initiative that really tries to go into states and do really deep state-based work across stakeholder groups. So getting everyone who needs to be at the table in that state, whether that's workforce, post-secondary education, corrections, everybody, and get everyone pointed in the same direction. Because I think what we're finding so often, I think what a lot of people in this space find so often, is that the work is very siloed, and so you have amazing examples of people doing great work, sometimes within a matter of miles from each other, and yet they're not synchronizing, maybe they don't even know about each other, and so really trying to create state-level efficiencies in these systems so that the left hand knows what the right hand is doing and everybody can be working more effectively. I think seeing some real wins around the country. I mean, it's been really powerful to be here and hear the stories here about what they've been able to do in New York, some other states, and seeing that when people get those opportunities, because the really awkward thing would be if like when Clean Slate was enacted in a state, it didn't go very well. Like if people didn't it didn't really work out like that, then that'd be kind of awkward for all of us, and I think that's like hopefully creating a tipping point where the ball can start rolling downhill, because the proof is now right there. Like we don't have to talk about this theoretically anymore. We can point to neighboring states and say, it's happening over there, it's going great. It's happening over there, it's going great. The public safety is not being compromised. It starts to make our argument for us.
Last question: what gives you the most hope around this issue?
We do want, like we're talking about in terms of what Americans want, like that like we do want the same thing. Like we do want folks that, to have a fair shot. We feel like once people have been accountable, that like at some point that ends, and then, we want people to, be able to lead a successful life. And so I think watching the momentum build and create it and have its own momentum to the point that like maybe we don't have to push the boulder anymore because like it's rolling the right direction. I think that's really exciting to see.